office. There was a Cat 6 office near the steam locomotive station. It was mainly a place to look up the history and geography of cats. All the secretaries wore short black satin clothes and were very respected by everyone. If for some reason someone were to quit the secretaries, all the young cats around there wanted to take the spot after them and made a huge fuss over it. Wow! Secretaries? Oh, secretaries. Wow, I'm jealous. Wow, I'm jealous. They seem to know everything. Wow. They can read poetry too. Wow, I'm jealous. I want to be a secretary. I want to be a secretary too. But in order to be a secretary, you must be able to write. However, the number of secretaries in this office would be only 4. So, from all the many applicants, only the cats with the best writing and poetry reading were selected. The Secretary General was a big black cat. He was old, but his eyes were as sharp as if they were made of copper. The first secretary of his subordinate is the white cat. The second secretary was a tabby cat. The third secretary was a calico cat. The fourth secretary was a comma cat. Comma cat was not born with this name. No matter what kind of cat it is, the cat that has a habit of going into the Kamado stove at night and sleeping is named Kama. And so there are ashes on its body, and it has a black soot on its nose and ears. It looks like a raccoon-looking cat. Therefore, the Kama cats are disliked by other ordinary cats. Smells like something burning. What? Dust? Soot? Huh, Kamado. Are you sleeping in Kamado? Aren't you a raccoon? Cat? That's Sumi, right? Don't make a mess there. However, in this office, the Secretary General was a black cat. So, no matter how much he studied, the comma cat will never be able to become a secretary. But thanks to the black cat, he was selected out of 40 cats. By the way, why do cats need geography and history? Well, it goes something like this. Someone knocked on the office door. The Secretary General, the black cat, put his hands in his pocket and said loudly, "Come in." The 4 secretaries were busy working. A luxurious cat came in. What do you want? I'm thinking of going to the Bering region to eat glacier mice. Which area is good? I see. First secretary, check out where the glacier mice are plentiful. The first secretary, White Cat, opened a large blue-covered notebook and answered, Ustrogomena Novaskaya, Fusa River Basin. The Secretary General, Black Cat, told to the luxurious cat, Ustrogomena Nova... what did you say? Novaskaya. The white cat and the luxurious cat answered at the same time. Yes, Novaskaya. And after that, Fusa River. Fusa River. Yeah. Fusa River. Again, the luxurious cat said with the first secretary. The Secretary General seemed a little embarrassed. Well, I think it's good there. And what do I need to be cautious about on this trip? Yeah, Second Secretary, tell us the Bering region travel precautions. The second secretary opened his notebook and answered. Ah, yes. Summer cats are totally unsuitable for this trip. Then, for some reason, everyone glanced over at the comma cat. Winter cats also need to be very careful. There is a trap that attracts horse meat near Hakodate area. Black cats must clearly identify themselves as cats when traveling. This is because black cats are often mistaken for black foxes and are often tracked by hunters. Oh no! Okay, just like you heard. You're not a black cat like me, so don't worry too much. You'll just have to be careful with horse meat in Hakodate. Yes, and who is the most influential person there? Third secretary? Name the most influential people in Bering region. Yes! Well, in Bering region... Ah, yes, two people, which are Tobolsky and Genzowski. What kind of guys are Tobolsky and Genzowski? Fourth secretary. Tell us the background of Tobolsky and Genzowski. Yes! The fourth secretary, comma cat, was waiting, putting his short hand on the notebook with his fingers between the pages of Tobolsky and Genzowski. Oh, yeah. Both the secretary and the luxurious cat seemed to be impressed. However, the other three secretaries were staring at the comma cat with their mean eyes. Comma cat read aloud with his firm voice. Chief Tobolsky has his virtues. His eyes are sharp, but he speaks a bit slow. Genzowski is a wealthy man. He speaks a little slow, but has sharp eyes. Yeah. I understand very well. Thank you. As you see, the cat office was a very convenient place for cats. However, about half a year later from the story, the sixth office has finally been abolished. As you may have noticed, the fourth secretary, comma cat, seemed to have been hated by the other three secretaries. The calico cat, the third secretary, wanted to take on the work of a comma cat on her own. The comma cat tried to be a likable cat, but it didn't work. For example, one day, when the tabby cat put his lunch out on his desk and was about to start eating, suddenly he was struck by a yawn. Because he stepped on his foot, the table sloped slightly, and the lunchbox slid down, and finally fell on the floor in front of the Secretary General. Oops, my lunchbox has fallen. So the tabby cat reached down from his desk and tried to pick up the lunchbox. He barely got a hold of it. So the lunchbox went this way and that way, and it was hard to catch. No, you won't be able to reach it. The Secretary General, the black cat, was laughing while eating his bread. At the time, the fourth secretary, comma cat, after seeing the lunchbox on the floor, he quickly stood up. Okay. He picked up the lunchbox and kindly handed the lunchbox to the tabby cat. Here you are. However, the tabby cat suddenly became very angry and refused to accept the lunchbox that Comma Cat handed him. What? Did you want me to eat the lunch that fell on this floor? On this floor? No, you were trying to pick it up, so I just picked it up for you. When did I ever try to pick it up from the floor? I thought it was rude to leave it in front of the Secretary General, so I pushed it under my desk. Oh, I see. The lunchbox was moving all over the place, so I just... What? How rude! Let's have a duel. Stop fighting! The Secretary General, Black Cat, roared very loudly. This was done purposely to prevent the duel. It was a misunderstanding. Comma Cat didn't pick up the lunchbox to vigorously feed you. He just picked it up for you. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you this morning, Tabby Cat. You got a raise on your monthly salary. The Tabby Cat was still glaring at the Comma Cat with a scary face. The Tabby Cat finally smiled. I'm sorry for the fuss. Tabby Cat returned to his seat and glared at Comma Cat. Everyone, I feel sympathy for the Comma Cat. Then, a few days later, a similar incident occurred. This often happens due to the cat's lazy personality, and partly because of their forefoot, which in human terms have short hands. This time, Third Secretary, the Calico Cat over there, dropped her brush when she was about to start her morning work. The brush rolled around and finally fell on the floor. The Calico Cat could have just stood up to pick it up, but instead, she stretched out her hand from the desk and tried to pick it up just like the Tabby Cat. After all, her hand could not reach the brush. The Calico Cat's leg came off the chair, and the desk tilted. The Comma Cat hesitated for a moment whether to help or not, and he finally decided to help and stood up. Okay. But as soon as Comma Cat stood up, the Calico Cat turned over the table and fell on the floor. Ow! Ouch! What? Smelling salt! Smelling salt! The Secretary General, Black Cat, was surprised and stood up and took a bottle of smelling salt from the back shelf. However, the Calico Cat quickly got up and yelled at Comma Cat. How dare you push me down? This time, the Secretary General immediately calmed the Calico Cat down. Calico Cat, you're misunderstanding. Comma Cat didn't do anything. He just stood up to help you. But you see, such small thing is nothing. Come on. Well, I need a notice of change of address paper of Santintan. The Secretary General immediately went back to work. The Calico Cat also returned to his desk and started working. From time to time, the Calico Cat glared at Comma Cat with scary eyes. These things continued, and it was hard for Comma Cat. The Comma Cat wanted to be normal like other cats, so he tried to sleep outside the Komodo at night. Achoo! but it was too cold, and he always ended up returning to Kamado. The reason why Kama Cat was so sensitive to the cold was because his skin was thin. And the reason for that was because he was born during the midsummer. It's my fault, the Kama Cat said in tears. And it can't be helped. However, the Secretary General is always so kind to me. My Kamado cat friends are proud that I work for that office. No matter how much I get bullied, I won't stop being a secretary, and I'll definitely endure it. The Kama Cat clenched his fist while crying. However, the Secretary General was no longer reliable. Huh? Today the Kama Cat is not here yet. Huh? Unfortunately, the Kama Cat caught a cold, and the base of his leg swelled into a bowl-like shape, and he could not walk. He had finally taken a day off from work. My legs are so swollen. I can't walk. My legs hurt. I can't walk. The Kama Cat was mortified and writhing. He kept crying and crying and cried. The Kama Cat rubbed his eyes and cried, looking out the yellow light coming through the small barn window. Meanwhile, at the office. He is so late. The Kama Cat probably went to the beach to play. No, I think he was invited to a banquet somewhere. Is there a banquet somewhere today? The Secretary General asked in surprise. There is nothing in a cat's banquet that he was not invited to, he thought. I heard there was an opening ceremony event in the north. Is that so? The Black Cat thought silently. Then the Calico Cat said, Kama Cat is being invited here and there these days. I heard that Kama Cat said I would be the next general manager. And that's why the idiots are so scared and try to put him in a good mood. Is that really true? Oh yes, it's true. You should find out for yourself. How suspicious! I have been paying close attention to him. All right, I'll show him who the boss is. And in the office, it was quiet for a while. Well, the next day, the Kama Cat's leg pain subsided. So he went to the office in a gusty wind early in the morning. When he arrived, his original book, which he adored so much, had disappeared from his desk. And these were divided among the 3 desks next to him. He muttered to himself in a hoarse voice while the Kama Cat's heart was pounding. Oh, yesterday was a very busy day. The door opened and Calico Cat came in. Good morning. The Kama Cat stood up and greeted the Calico Cat. But the Calico Cat silently sat at his desk. The Calico Cat immediately started flipping through the notebook. The Tabby Cat came in. Good morning. Comma Cat stood up and greeted the Tabby Cat. But the Tabby Cat silently passed by without a look and took a seat. Good morning. The Calico Cat said to the Tabby Cat. Good morning. It's a terrible wind. The Tabby Cat also immediately started flipping through the notebook. The White Cat came in. Good morning. Good morning. The Tabby Cat and the Calico Cat greeted the White Cat at the same time. Hey, good morning. It's a terrible wind. The White Cat also started working. The Comma Cat stayed up and bowed, but the White Cat ignored the Comma Cat. Good morning. The Secretary General, the Black Cat, came in. It's a terrible wind, isn't it? The three secretaries stood up and quickly bowed. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. The Comma Cat also stood vaguely and bowed, facing down. Good morning. It's like a storm. Yes. Yes. It's a terrible wind. The Black Cat took his seat without looking at Comma Cat and started working. Now, today I have to look up the answer yesterday's continuation of Ammoniac Brothers. Second Secretary, which of the Ammoniac Brothers enter Antarctica? Oh, my notebook. My notebook. He couldn't find his notebook. Even though he wanted to say it, he couldn't speak. It is Pompolaris. Well done. Tell me more on Pompolaris. Oh, this is my job. My notebook. The Comma Cat muttered in a crying little voice. Pompolaris was on the way back from the Antarctic expedition, died off Yap Island, and the remains were buried in water. First Secretary, the White Cat, opened the Comma Cat's notebook and read it out loud. The Comma Cat became very, very sad. He was lying on his face, holding still as his cheeks turned sore, having a brain freeze. Yes. Also look up the name of biography of Ammoniac Brothers. Yes. Yes. The office gradually became busier and busier, and the work progressed smoothly. Third Secretary, is there a detailed record of Antarctic expedition? Yes, I have it ready here. Good. Make a list of the Antarctic explorers who accompanied him. Yes. The other secretaries only glanced at Comma Cat from time to time and did not speak to him. Eventually, it was lunchtime. Yeah, we made a lot of progress. Let's have lunch. Yes. Yes. Yeah. But the Comma Cat was not eating the lunch he brought. He just sat still, his hand on his lap, facing down. The time passed after 1 in the afternoon. Comma Cat began to cry. But everyone pretended not to see and enjoyed their work. Find out about the Glacier Mouse processing factory found by ammoniacs. Okay, it's time to finish. Yes, I got the company registry. All right, who was the founder and where was the company founded? Founder in Destipago. Founded in Morio City. All right. First Secretary, what? What was his name? It's Destipago. was that time. The cats did not notice at all, but a golden stern lion head appeared behind the Secretary General's window. The lion looked in suspiciously for a while. Then suddenly, the lion entered the office. What? Wow! Huh? Wow! Oh. What? Huh? Oh no! Oh no! The cats were very surprised and started to panic and scattered around. We are applying for a patent for a new rat trap. Is that a choo-choo? Catcher? Choo-choo, hoi hoi. Aesthetic mouse, aesthetician, choo-choo. Red crow mouse, blue crow mouse, yellow crow mouse, white crow mouse, red crow mouse. Ah! Oh no! Only the comic cat stopped crying and stood up straight towards the lion.
What are you all doing?
Oh no! Oh no!
Geography and history is not necessary with what you are doing. Just stop it. I order dissolution.
This was how the office was abolished. I half agree with the lion.